The 14th annual Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition is back, set for Saturday, November 23rd at NJPAC. The five finalists join me today on the WBGO Journal. They have been pulled from nearly 200 entrants from 27 different countries. The finalists are Diamond Franklin of Philadelphia, Candace Jones from Hollywood, California, Katie Cordham from New York City, Giulia Moscardini from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and Emma Smith from London, England. The Sassy Awards has become one of the top annual vocal competitions in jazz. The competition recalls the humble beginnings of legendary jazz singer and NEA jazz master Sarah Vaughan, who back in 1942 was just a Newark teenager and the winner of an amateur singing contest at the Apollo Theater. That memorable night helped us launch the life work of one of the most successful, influential jazz vocalists in the history of American music. This competition could do the same for one or more of our finalists. Diamond Franklin, welcome and congratulations on being a finalist.
Thank you so much.
Diamond, classically trained mezzo-soprano vocalist, actor, songwriter, recording artist, specializing in jazz, opera, musical theater, R&B, and gospel music. That about covers everything, doesn't it? A
Oh,
Philadelphia
yeah.
native, and and you've trained under world-renowned musicians and have performed on stage with legendary artists like Andrea Bocelli and John Bon Jovi. I would imagine performing in front of a live audience at NJPAC is kind of old hat for you. Will you be nervous at all?
Oh, I'm nervous before almost everything I do, but it's like once I get started, once the music starts and I'm getting into the song, it kind of disappears and I just I feel like I'm where I belong.
Well, you've been a part of many different things, including the Philadelphia Chorale, the Philadelphia Orchestra's Symphonic Choir, most recently starring as Alice II in a production of Alice Tierney in the 2025 Philadelphia Fringe Festival. When do you remember first listening to Sarah Vaughan?
First listening to Sarah Vaughan, I would say, was when I was 12 years old. I studied with Monette Sutler, a famous jazz guitarist and vocalist. And we learned Misty, her rendition of the famous jazz standard Misty. And I just was so taken aback by the way that she was able to perform, especially because when we studied a little bit further, we learned she was ill during the performance. She was under the weather, Sarah Vaughan. And you would have never been able to tell just by hearing her. So it was the way that she was able to push through. It really inspired me, honestly.
Raised in the Bay Area, Candace Jones was born into a family of accomplished jazz musicians. Her early musical influences ranging from John Coltrane to Sarah Vaughan to Stevie Wonder, shaping her into a vocalist with soul, sass, and undeniable presence. When you think about the words and the vocalist Sarah Vaughan, what immediately comes to your mind, Candace?
My dad, my father, to be honest. Both of my parents play tenor saxophone. I grew up with these sounds kind of echoing through my home since birth. And Sarah is my father's number one top favorite vocalist of all time. So I mean, he really drilled this stuff in from a tiny baby. So I absolutely associate her works really closely with my dad and with the kind of the sounds of my household growing up.
Your stage career has blossomed with lead roles in productions like Dreamgirls, Ain't Misbehavin', and Hair. Now based in Miami, how do you balance life as a performer, entrepreneur, and mother of two children?
I don't. If I'm doing one thing well, I'm doing the other thing badly. That's it. If you're doing one thing, if you see a mom doing something really well in front of you, she's neglecting something else in that moment. That's the truth of it. No one is doing it all perfectly. My kids are in childcare right now so that I can be, present with you here. So I'm not sure that there is a perfect balance of all of those things. We all do the best we can.
We certainly do. Kate Cordham is a Houston-born jazz vocalist with a warm, distinctive sound that seamlessly blends the blues, bebop, and Broadway. Issued her debut album, Good Woman, in 2023 to critical and streaming acclaim, surpassing 3.5 million streams for its imaginative reworkings of jazz standards from a female perspective. Kate, can you talk more about your approach to jazz standards?
Yeah, I think I've always been fascinated by like interpreting songs, and especially like the perspectives from which we interpret songs. And a lot of our favorite music is written by not the people that are supposed to sing it. So I think I've always been really fascinated by maybe turning those things on their heads and singing them from my perspective and sharing that.
Yeah, what is your favorite Sarah Vaughan tune and why?
That's such a hard question. I feel like right now I have been spinning her version of Maria from Sassy Swings the Tivoli.
Very nice. And why would you say that's the tune that impresses you the most?
I feel like that particular recording shows her restraint. She has such a facility in her voice, and that recording, she makes you wait for the break of the song. And it's so satisfying when it comes, and you can really tell that she's like picturing the arc in the beginning. It's not just like an accident, like she knows when it's coming.
Okay, congratulations on your sophomore release, Wild Woman, this year. Another tribute to the Great American Songbook, and also a graduate of the University of Miami's Frost School of Music and the Juilliard School. You've appeared at all kinds of places in New York. Dizzy's, of course, the Blue Note, Birdland, and Mesro, you name it, with Peter Bernstein and McCohen, Brian Carter, Wynton Marsalis, and the Jazz at Lincoln Orchestra. You can look up all the bios from all our great finalists and find out just a little bit more about each of them. Julia Moscardini from Buenos Aires, Argentina, a singer who focuses on jazz and Latin American, especially Argentinian music. In Buenos Aires, she studied with very renowned local jazz musicians, and since 2015 has traveled to New York annually to study with mentor master Sheila Jordan and others. We lost Sheila Jordan in August of this year. What did she mean to you, Julia?
Wow, she was someone very special for me to dedicate to make the decision to dedicate my whole music to jazz, from a very true way. And to she always talked about finding your own repertoire, your own voice, your own style. She used to uh, talk about how, for example, Sarah or Ella had these big, amazing voices, and how she built her own jazz journey with her own voice. Her repertoire was very special. So um, she made me believe in being from so far away, really, not from a culture where jazz is our main culture, our main tradition. That if I keep on the journey, if I really love it, if I really love this music, if it really turns me on, and I feel I have something to say with it, it's just that it's I can make it. So he gave me a lot. She gave me a lot of um, faith, I think, and inspiration, of course.
For the last 10 years, you've led your own group and recorded two albums, Stablemates in 2019 and Mood Indigo in 2022. You've also played with a number of greats on stage, including Russell Malone, who we lost to recently, not that long ago. So I'm sure that when you look at your career, how fortunate you've been to play with these legendary artists. When you think of Sarah Vaughan, why do you think she became an international singing star?
I think Sarah represents, without a doubt, um, core concepts of what jazz music is itself, besides her own style, which is amazing, fantastic, we all know. Uh, but the the many things that she could say through the songs. For example, there's something that I always notice watching, for example, live performances, the sense of humor, the freshness, with which she would interpret, and also the depth of her interpretations, how she could move with a note, with a word. I think it's something that transcends jazz music at all, or the United States. And it's something that all over the world could touch hearts. And also all the her career, how she developed her style through over the years. That's something that is very inspiring for me. Sheila used to talk about this also, that this is a music about life. You have to build it through the years. It's not only that you can study in a couple of years. It's something you have to build it your own through the years.
Yeah,
And
no.
she said that with 90 years old, still singing.
With those type of mentors, no wonder you are an instructor yourself, teaching at what is basically Berklee College of Music's international network in Buenos Aires. Congratulations
Yeah,
on that.
thank you so much.
Emma Smith is one of the most talked about voices in jazz. She's collaborated with major artists including Michael Bublé, the Quincy Jones Orchestra, Jeff Goldblum, who I just spoke to not long ago, of course, starring again as the Wizard in the second movie, Wicked for Good, coming out in November. Jeremy Pelt, Wayne Escoffery Quintet. Your accolades include widespread success for your vocal harmony group, the Papini Sisters, a 4-year stint as a BBC Radio 3 broadcaster and resident vocalist with the Ronnie Scott's All Stars. You were a finalist back in 2023. How did that competition change you?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's so good to be back. I actually can't believe it. When I got the news, I was like, surely there's a mistake here. You don't get to do this twice. But honestly, I learned so much from it. It was a great opportunity to dive even deeper into the repertoire and work and art offerings that Sarah has given us. And it's humbling and intimidating and inspiring all at once. And I just can't believe I've got the opportunity to come back. And with these ladies, I'm like so excited. Just get me over there.
Yeah, when you think about this competition, what would it mean to you to win it this time?
Oh my gosh. It's hard talking about winning. You know, I guess I'm supposed to sort of say that I'm going there for the prize and whatnot, you know, and of course winning would be amazing, but the whole like getting into the final five, as I'm sure the other ladies feel the same way, that feels like winning in itself. It's a huge honor. Growing up in this music in the UK, it's not the most normal thing. We do have a very flourishing and eclectic jazz scene here, but my heart was always on the East Coast, to be honest. And I grew up in a family of musicians that taught me all about American swing. And my grandfather was the first one. He played with legends like Oscar Peterson and Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. And he was always like, Emma, you need to learn how to swing like an American. So I think if I was to win it and even to get into the position that I'm in now for the second time, which is mad, it feels like a kind of full circle moment to show my granddad and, you know, my life and my dedication to this music so far, that it was worth it and I was on the right track. And, you know, to be acknowledged by America in that way is really really touching and very motivating.
Your new album, Bitter Orange, is a bold personal portrait of a self-making artist determined to leave her mark on the world with elegance, honesty, and you mentioned heart. When you think about Sarah's singing, what is it about her voice that you enjoy?
Oh, okay, where to start? Sarah represents the whole spectrum of vocal expression to me. But just speaking from like my own personal enjoyment of her, is the playtime. Like she was called Sassy for a reason, right? She was so funny and charismatic and playful with the music. And I do think that can sometimes get left behind. You know, this is a serious art form and like you need a deep understanding of the harmony and the music and the greats and blah, blah, blah. But also let's have fun with it, you know? So that's definitely something that I always go to Sarah to get that reality check of like, have fun, Emma, like this is music, you know, express yourself, enjoy yourself. And then of course, the depth of understanding of what's going on musically, like marrying those two things together, the fun and the playtime. She was a killing pianist as well, you know. One of her first gigs after Apollo was as second pianist in a jazz orchestra and sort of around like Dizzy Gillespie and Charlie Parker and Dexter Gordon and whatnot. So she could stand her own amongst those heavyweight horn players and then still had time for a joke on stage and an incredible gown. So for me, it's the fullest of full packages.
Diamond, We have, through the years, I've had the pleasure of interviewing the Sarah Vaughan vocal competition finalists, and everyone seems to agree it's a real friendly competition that could lead to collaborations between some of your people that you're competing against. Do you feel that same way, Diamond Franklin?
Definitely. That's what I would pray for is that there can be connection, networking, collaborations. I would love to make music with fellow musicians and singers who, love to express themselves through the works and just bring back that real true sound that I feel like a lot of listeners are seeking in music today. Sometimes artists are so busy trying to do what's popular, they kind of lose themselves. So I would love to, just work with other artists that are genuine, original, and put it together and see what happens.
Diamond, how hard is it to be a jazz vocalist in our world right now?
I would say it's definitely different. When you say that you sing jazz, especially even with me being an opera singer as well, that's something I'm used to is strange faces when they ask me, "What do you sing?" "Oh, opera, jazz." They're like, "Okay, wow, this is something different that I don't usually hear." I would say it's difficult in the sense of there's more expectant of you. When you're singing with just you and a band, there's not a whole lot of flourishes and auto tunes or anything like that. It's really just you. It's very raw. And the same with opera. It's raw. It's just you and bam, you in the stage. So I feel like it can be rewarding as well in a sense as it is difficult.
Candace Jones, take us into voice selection as far as songs that you want to perform. You have just a vast number of things that you could do. What's the thought process that goes in knowing that it's a competition? There's almost so much time that you're on stage. Tell us a little bit about your upcoming performance.
I didn't think about it for a second. I picked my favorite songs, I sent them over. That was it. I mean, I've been singing this music for almost 40 years. Some of these songs have been with me, so I truly, and like you were saying earlier, really, jazz isn't a competitive thing, right? It's not a competitive thing. It's that's not the essence of it. So I picked the songs that have been kind of with me for a long time. I picked my dad's favorite song because he's going to be there. And I went with it. I didn't give it too much thought, to be honest.
Take us into a conversation with your dad about jazz.
Oh man. So my dad is one of these people when he's playing the saxophone, you know that he knows more than you know listening to it, right? You're like, oh man, this guy, I don't really, maybe know I don't understand everything that's going on here, but he clearly does. So, I mean, my dad will go on a diatribe about like John Coltrane's. He did a list of the elements, like in a spiral. I mean, that's how deep into it this guy is. He was a member of the iconic Berkeley High Jazz Band in the '70s, and he's just been shedding wood, since he was 6 years old. So for him, it's less performative and it's really more about engaging with your art and co-creating a moment with everyone there. That's the essence for him.
Kate Gordon, as I mentioned earlier, you've performed at a lot of these clubs in New York City. What's the vibe in New York City's jazz clubs for you right now?
Um, I think it's a good vibe. I think overall they're all so different. It's hard to create one vibe for all of the New York City jazz clubs, but I think I've been fortunate to come into a really beautiful young community that embraces singers, embraces people of all walks of life, um, and embraces all different kinds of music and originality. So it's been, for me, really, really welcoming the last 2.5 years.
A distinguished panel of judges will be joining us on that evening, including Tony-nominated singer-lyricist Ann Hampton Callaway, Grammy-nominated trumpeter John Faddis, Grammy-nominated jazz vocalist Nina Freelon, Grammy Award-winning bassist and artistic advisor of jazz programming at NJPAC, the wonderful bassist Christian McBride, and founding member of the Manhattan Transfer and co-host of WBGO's Singers Unlimited, vocalist Janice Siegel. Of course, WBGO, my partner for more than almost 3 decades now. Gary Walker, who has been with WBGO for more than 40 years, will be the host of the evening. It will be a special event, and we are talking to the finalists of the 14th annual Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition. Julia Moscardini from Buenos Aires, when you think about all these wonderful judges, just getting an opportunity to chat with them is a learning experience as well, right?
Of course it is. And it feels a real honor to have been selected for this opportunity, for this special concert for artists that we all respect that much. So, as I said before, doing this from so far away, where this music was born in a country with, especially as a singer, English is not the native language, for example, and where, although in Buenos Aires also we have a very huge jazz scene growing, as it has all over the world, and we have a good high-level musicians to study and play with. But it's not really a part of our original language. That makes it a little bit harder, like to stay on the jazz journey. So being able to participate in this special event, as you said, being able to talk, to share with real masters of the music, for me especially from Argentina, from Buenos Aires, is really, really special, as if it was every year that I was able to travel to New York and to study with, for example, Sheila, or shared with other masters. That has been being the most, the biggest lessons for me in jazz.
All of you, you come from a time now where we can get music out to the world, being social media and all kinds of things. Has that been a benefit for you, social media?
Yes, of course. Since, for example, being able to download records, since I started like listening and studying jazz, from today to be able to know amazing jazz singers, as for example the girls we are sharing here. I mean, to be able to know what's happening with the jazz scene all over the world, it at the same time it's inspired me, and also making me aware of about the compromise that I want to have with this music and with what I do with it. Yeah.
Julia, have you ever met any of the ladies on screen with you right now?
I had the chance to listen to Kate, but maybe she didn't she didn't see me in New York in my last travels, 2024 and 23, like jam sessions or mass row or something. Yeah, not
Great.
the other girls, but I would be very happy to share with them, of course.
Emma, same type of question. Uh, how much do you know about the ladies here?
Um, just as much as the internet allows me to know. Just that classic social media stalking situation, as per. Kate and I have been like pen pals for a couple of years on Instagram. We're signed to the same label, maybe. Yes, I'm seeing her nodding. And yeah, the other ladies I'm getting to know through a screen, but I can't wait to meet them in real life. And obviously, I had the same. I was in this experience. It really is an experience more than it is a competition. Honestly, I was in the Sarah Vaughan vocal competition experience in 23, and yeah, made some amazing connections and amazing friends, and just watching people's careers flourish coming out of this. It's really a beautiful thing to be part of. It's a true honor.
I'm going to give you kind of a tough question, Emma. So, and I'd always ask these type of questions. People go, "Here he goes again."
Oh gosh.
So, Sarah Vaughan magically appears in the front row at NJPAC on Saturday, November 23rd, or at least you can feel her presence. And she comes backstage and she says, "Emma, as well as all of you, Wonderful job. What would you ask Sarah Vaughan?
Oh, I need like a decade to work this question out. Um, oh, I'd probably ask her what her on the spot. I'd sort of throw the question back at her, like what her kind of if she had to do a 10 track like best of album would be out of her back catalogue, so that I can know through her perspective what her greatest works were. I'm going to go for that.
Diamond, what question would you have for Sassy?
Let's see. I would ask her, can she pass on some more sass to me? I'm kidding, but I would definitely want to ask her, how does she maintain her resilience? Because seeing as though we face so much in the industry, just, I mean, yeah, we love to sing, we love music, but there can be challenges that really will make you want to quit. At least I've faced some challenges that have had me think, you know what? I don't know, maybe this is not for me. And then next thing I know, I'm back to singing, back to applying for another opportunity. So I would just want to ask her, what was her what kind of nourished her steadfast attitude and the way she was able to push through all adversities and continue to be the legend that she is known as today.
Change it up just a little bit for you, Candace. She says, well, I want to go out tonight. Where are you taking her and why?
In New Jersey? Oh my
Oh, oh,
gosh.
oh, it could be anywhere. You could,
Could be anywhere?
yeah, you can take her anywhere you want because this is a
Oh,
magical thing. So you can take her
oh, we're
anywhere
in
you want.
Magic. Okay, we're in Magic Land. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe like a walk through Paris, a walk through Paris in the springtime, somewhere we're all replenished by our surroundings, right? We're all inspired and replenished by our surroundings. So maybe not out tonight, but out today, a quiet walk through a beautiful place so that to be for our creativity to be replenished and born again.
Very nice. Kate, you have a chance where she says, I'd like to sing a song with you tonight. What would that be and why?
Um, wow. Wow, that's tough. I feel like I don't know, something from I don't know, I've been talking about that Sassy Swings the Tivoli album. I can't shut up about that album. Maybe like I Feel Pretty or something like that. I feel like anything you would sing with her would be it would be crazy. You would not know what to expect.
Hmm. Julia, every time that I get a chance to go into Newark Symphony Hall and they have the Sarah Vaughan uh, auditorium there, and you can feel, that Sassy performed there at a very young age. If you got her to Argentina, where would you take her to Argentina?
I would take her to a situation with Argentinian music and musicians. And first of all, my father, who is an Argentinian guitar player and is a big influence for me in the Argentinian music. But it would be amazing to have her in another genre of music, listening to it and having the whole experience, as it could be, for example, a jam session for the jazz musicians, something really popular, really like spontaneous thing with the traditional language, and then ask her how does it feel for her, and maybe which connections does she feel with jazz language, which is a popular language, and this community thing that happens around this music.
Well, I mentioned Gary Walker will be the host of the night on Saturday, November 23rd. And Gary has always said, just expose people to the music and they will enjoy it and they'll be jazz fans forever. Young people just need to be exposed to the music as well. All of you with your great stories about your families and your backgrounds inspire me and others who are listening right now to know that jazz is in good hands with the five finalists of the Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition. So, Emma, I'm going to give you last word. What advice do you have for everybody else?
Okay, so this is something that I actually was thinking about because I knew you'd pull me up on this. So I would just say that 2 years ago I was super nervous, which we probably will be, and there's nothing you can do about that. But I really wanted to impress the judges. And like, of course, we want to impress the judges still, but I think that that came slightly at the expense of like being my authentic self and just being in the moment and enjoying it and like taking it all in. I was like super focused on getting it right and like, being really clever. Not the whole time because I wasn't clever the whole time, that's for sure. But yeah, I definitely now like the pressure of that, I'm choosing to just take it off and just, I know that the judges will be more impressed if I can be like the most full version and the most real version of myself. And at the end of the day, there's a full audience there that want to be entertained and have fun. And they are cheering us on, stomping their feet and clapping their hands. And like, we need to give them a show. So that's all I'm going to say to try and be
And
out of your heads and in your body and voice.
great advice. Emma, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Julian, thanks for being here. We can't wait till you get to Newark for this competition. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Kate, we appreciate you joining in today. Good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Candace, I know that all of you are excited about this competition. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Diamond, just keep on with that wonderful smile you have there. And we wish you great success on November 23rd as well.
Thank you so much. Good luck to everyone. I'm so excited.
That's a great way to end it. So we will end it there, November 23rd at NJPAC, the 14th annual Sarah Vaughan International Vocal Competition. And as you can tell, we have 5 wonderful competitors. You will enjoy them all. And check them out before they actually perform. They are all available. You can find their music on the web and check out what they can do and why they have been selected to be finalists for this wonderful competition. One of the special treats of the night, by the way, is the fact that the 2023 winner of the competition, Tyreek McDowell, whose now career is blossoming, will have a performance during the evening. Thanks again, and we'll see you at NJPAC.